positive signs for a change in direction. BlackRock is soon digitizing its entire assets. And many exciting, interesting numbers that show the crypto market is at a turning point. So, a positive, short video. Hey, welcome to Crypto Owl. I have to hurry a bit. There's a big construction site in front of my house because fiber optics are being installed here. I don't know how long we can record a video here in peace without hearing noise or something else. That's why we're starting quickly into the video and begin with the market update. And the market update, I've highlighted it for you here again. In the last video, I mentioned that after Donald Trump announced this deal between Russia and Ukraine, the market was positively inclined. But up to now, this deal hasn't happened. However, there are other indicators that are currently very positive and show us that the crypto market could soon benefit from them as well. We'll go into that further in the video. Let's take another look at the market and see that gold has been climbing steadily, but now has also taken this pullback, which was important, of course, to eventually climb again at the end of the day. So short recovery phases, then continue to rise further. Here's the prime example. Here too, I marked Donald Trump's tweet with this sign, but as I said, here's the pullback. In the US stocks, it looked similar with this pullback. It's just interesting that with Bitcoin, this didn't really happen since this tweet or the announcement. And we are at around $95,000 in the Bitcoin chart. That's very positive, one must say. Here, 95,500, and here down to 93,700. So it's fluctuating right now in the 4-hour chart, but overall it looks very good. As I said, no major pullback. Is it still coming? That's a good question, but the signs are more towards rising prices. Casper, let's briefly touch on it. You've seen it. In April, yes, it's going to be difficult. Today is the last day of April. I didn't make an update video from Casper in April. Shame on me, but we'll definitely get it done in May. The big update is scheduled for May. That's why there was this breakout again, briefly, but also repeatedly short breakouts. But we have to be honest. There are a lot of miners and also many new miners. If you have looked at the hash rate recently, many miners have joined, and they are, of course, also taking profits or selling their cash on the market, which is why there will always be these pullbacks. One can be very curious when the hard fork arrives. As I said, I still believe that with the hard fork, new exchange listings will come, and these new exchange listings will lead to rising prices. Yes, otherwise, I found that everything was pretty uninteresting now, in my opinion. But you surely have a few cryptocurrencies that have risen, but overall a mixed bag, as you can clearly see here, I think. We can briefly go into dual companies again. With companies, yes, it looks similar to a Bitcoin chart. If you overlay them or show them side by side here, you can see that everything is actually quite similar. And if we then take a look into the market update and see what's generally happening in the crypto market, we notice that since this tweet from Donald Trump, it's not necessarily this tweet, but it's exactly this moment when the market realized, oh, this could be the turning point. So this tweet is just this one, let's say symbol that we see here as, oh, the market could turn here. We see that the market has been positive since then, and the volume has increased. The feel and good index is at neutral. That's very good. Bitcoin is still rising at the moment. We were recently around here where my mouse is. So we've moved a little over, but it's still more of a Bitcoin season because, of course, on Google Trends, the search queries for Bitcoin are higher than, for example, the crypto or firm. Overall, it definitely looks positive and currently gives a positive outlook for the market. So buying now for under 100,000. It's hard to say because, as seen, the pullback that occurred with gold and also with US stocks didn't really happen in the Bitcoin and crypto chart. So there might still be a small pullback here, then breaking out upwards. The whole situation is very exciting to observe right now. Another exciting topic at the moment is BlackRock. What did they do yesterday? They submitted an application form here and want to digitize their liquidity fund. And that is indeed very exciting. Cointelegraph writes about it saying BlackRock applies for the share class DLT shares of its $150 billion one money market fund. These shares will then use blockchain technology to reflect ownership. In other words, you basically don't have a share like a stock share, but rather a token that is reflected on the blockchain. The advantages of this are clear. Through DLT or blockchain technology, you can then see who holds which tokens. So you can see, oh, here is a holder who has 1,000, 100,000 tokens, or here are just small players, causing a bit of a stir who start and want to complain. When you then see, look, he only has 20 tokens. What does he actually want? Why is he the one shouting the loudest? While the big one with 100,000 or 10,000, however many, actually supports the course as it has been. As an example, there are many advantages to seeing who holds how much, where all the tokens are, but very important is the double spending issue, which you have, for example, with CO2 certificates. CO2 certificates are issued by a company and sometimes duplicated, and then the forest has burned down, but the certificate still exists. That means I can buy the certificate for this forest because, hello, I have the CO2 certificate for the forest, and the forest has long since burned down. You don't know. So here, digitalization or blockchain technology should be much more effective. With CO2 certificates, it absolutely makes sense. And here, it would also be the case to say, look, we may have 1 million shares, but only with 300,000 are in circulation. The rest are still held by the company itself or other points that can be listed here. So, digitize stocks, and one of the important advantages, if there is a platform for trading them, is that you could trade these tokens or, yes, blockchain technology stocks or DLT stocks 24/7 if there is a trading platform for it. Very, very exciting what BlackRock is doing here. And as I said, we're talking about $150 billion. Yes, that's already very, very positive. So it's interesting. What has happened there? The companies are interested in blockchain. You can see at the event where I will be this year. I said I would only attend one event this year unless something very, very great comes up. But currently, I only want to attend one event, and that is the conference taking place in Dortmund at Signal Iduna Park, so in the stadium. That's how the whole thing looks. You are welcome to come by. You can still purchase tickets. I don't have a code yet, but I'm working on getting a code here soon. We are media partners for this event, so Crypto Hölle as a media partner. We will be on the road again. And I think we can rock another great event there. So if anyone happens to live in NRW and is interested, feel free to come by at the BVB Stadium, namely the Signal Iduna Park. Last year, there was also a stadium tour. It was very interesting. The worst Bundesliga locker room I've ever seen. Yes, and companies are also interested in this event. For example, IBM here. Then we have Decentraland here. Well, that's a crypto company. Then we have a capital company or a capital firm. And then there's the Easter giveaway, which unfortunately is already over. Maybe someone saw it, so feel free to follow the whole thing. There are always contests. Solana Foundation, there's the CFO. Then we have Hacken, and here, Gate Ventures. Yes. And I say, quite honestly, more will join, and this event is very, very interesting. And you can see that the regular industry is also interested in it. Last year, we even had, I think, let me think, was it Boeing? No, some airline company. Was it Lufthansa? Lufthansa was there. Exactly. Yes, so check it all out. Tickets, as I said, yes, they cost quite a bit, but to be honest, there's a code. There will always be offers and discounts. So feel free to check it out if you're interested. I will definitely be there. Yes, then let's take a look at the whole topic of trade war. And this trade war has escalated. For many people, but we know or keep in mind, a meeting between Xi and Trump will take place in May. And from China's side, they always say, we are ready for respectful talks. This means that this trade war could also soon have a positive impact on the market once it's over. There are first signs here as China is lifting a 125% tariff, meaning they are removing it on ethane imports. So everything related to ethane, I'm not quite sure right now. I only know methane, but ethane? What is ethane? In any case, they are lifting a tariff on products from the USA with ethane imports. So, the first positive sign, you can also see there is interest. 700,000 clicks or views on these tweets, 14,000 likes. So, we clearly see that the whole topic is of interest to the market or is interesting for the market. This news came from a watcher guru, and of course, there's also a news article about it, which you can click on below. As always, you can find the sources or below in the video description. So all sources are provided as usual. And if you now say, I want to buy cryptocurrencies, then check out ZoomX, because you can buy and trade cryptocurrencies very conveniently with ZoomX. ZoomX is the official crypto exchange partner of the Haas Formula One team. With their partner OnRamper, you can easily deposit euros or other currencies via credit card, bank transfer, and other options, and directly receive Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies here. Buy and sell conveniently through their spot trading in the various cryptocurrencies they offer. For future traders, this exchange offers a lot, as they have a wide selection of cryptocurrencies, including some that are not listed on spot trading. Futures would offer a lot here, with leverage up to 150 on various cryptocurrencies, and you can even trade CoinM, meaning you can go long on Bitcoin with Bitcoin. And traders from around the world are active here, where you can copy trades through copy trading. In April 2024, something very special awaits us, namely the lucky draw. Up to 10 Bitcoins will be raffled here, along with Formula One merchandise and even VIP tickets. If that piqued your interest, then use the link in the pinned comment or video description to receive additional bonuses. From our partner, ZoomX. And we know one of the most important points is the interest rate cut for Donald Trump. And with the interest rate cut, there are always numbers that are particularly important, which the Federal Reserve or the interest rate decision makers look at. And one of the topics is job offers. And job offers were very positive because the job offers have decreased. This means that these positions have been filled, and that is actually a positive sign that there probably won't be an interest rate cut. Positive for the market, as the market says, look, it's very good that we don't have so many unemployed people. So the unemployment rate could probably decrease. The forecast was 7.49, meaning it was expected to rise a bit. But it has gone down to 7.192 million job offers or open positions in the USA. Yes, and it's difficult to put the whole thing into context. It's initially positive that it didn't go further down here. But regarding interest rate cuts, the whole thing is rather negative. Because if the unemployment rate is very high, and we also have high inflation, then we are more likely to see an interest rate cut. An interest rate cut would be good for the market and would achieve Donald Trump's goal. And that would be positive again, because then he might have to fight even less, as he is slowly achieving his goal with the initial interest rate cuts, which will hopefully continue step by step, at least hopefully for him. So we will continue to watch. It's difficult to put the whole thing into context, but initially positive. No. Higher unemployment rate. The market also reacted positively to this yesterday. We saw this in the S&P 500 when these numbers came out, so that's already positive to observe. Another thing, actually negative for all of us, but positive for people in the crypto or stock and investment market, is that our money is becoming less valuable again. This is not yet visible in the inflation figures, but the money supply is currently increasing continuously. We can see this here. And this is the M2 money supply from the Federal Reserve, that is from the USA. We see from the USA, the money supply is rising again significantly, 22. It went down a bit, and now it's rising again. We can take a look at this in the 1-year chart, and then we see here, look at that, boom, boom, it's going up. We will soon get new figures again, but the M2 money supply is rising again. And here is something interesting, namely the global money supply, and this is important. The global money supply is currently increasing enormously. This is predictive because you can see how many loans are being taken and how many loans are being granted worldwide. China is currently extreme, Lekana, and this M2 is rising enormously now, and this can be forecasted. We can already see that there will be a drastic new peak in August, and what we have seen in the past, and this is why this chart is so special, if we turn back to 2024, we can clearly see that the money supply was always similar to the global M2. So, are we seeing a breakout of Bitcoin due to the global money supply? As mentioned, for everyone dealing in euros, dollars, or Chinese yuan, They all say, oh no, the money supply is increasing. Then inflation could also rise because the money supply can be somewhat anticipated. As you can see in this chart. But as crypto investors or stock investors, gold investors, and so on, we can say this is positive for the market. Because as the money supply increases, there is also more money being invested in such markets. And this is positive for Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and of course, all asset classes. So it's exciting what's happening here right now. BlackRock is taking the digital stock route. Others might follow if they are successful here. We see a new SEC chief who is positively inclined towards cryptocurrencies. So actually, a second point that will positively influence the first one. Then we see that the money supply is increasing, which is negative if you are dealing in euros, dollars, and so on, but positive if you want to invest more in cryptocurrencies because they could benefit greatly from this. But also other asset classes like stocks, gold, and silver. The small man's gold silver has not yet broken out. Perhaps also interesting to observe. Yes, and what we also see is that the topic of the trade war and possibly interest rate cuts, these 2 points that are quite important for Donald Trump, the trade war for the world, interest rate cuts for Donald Trump, that these might have a positive effect within the next 1 or 2 months with an initial interest rate cut, even if it's just a small one, and a resolved trade war between the USA and China. Then I can imagine that we will launch a small rocket, Nanak, please pull the string and let it shoot. So it will be very, very exciting in the near future, but I am really happy that we can finally deliver some positive news again and show here, or that I can show here, what is currently happening. My advice to you, check out ZoomX, check out the conference. It's a really cool event. I'm really looking forward to it. It's in the stadium and we really have a lot of space there. So come by, check it out, and as soon as there is a discount code, I'm working on it. I think we will manage it in the near future. You will find out through our social media channels. You don't follow me on X, on Instagram, TikTok. Yes, then you should catch up on that quickly. In this sense, I say thank you very much for watching and see you in the next video.